Hi everyone, I'm the Glue Boss, and I am going to talk about my problem with the TikTok book stories that we have going around. So I have a problem with doom scrolling on TikTok. It's really bad. I'll lay in my bed for hours just mm, mhm, mhm, yep, mhm. It's gotten better with school, but it's still a problem I do deal with. So I was scrolling and just going through the cute little cat videos. And you'll see these stories on any platform where it's like, well, the one I'm specifically talking about today is No Longer Yours, My Alpha. Well, interesting title. The reason why I'm making this video is because I feel like these apps are completely scamming people. It's like bad fan fiction for luxury prices. You could just go on Wattpad and get the same results that you're getting on these stories. So these stories do feel like they were written by a 13-year-old girl high on a sugar rush. But they cost more than Netflix and therapy combined. The app I'll specifically be talking about today is GoodNovel, which it's a pretty popular app. I feel like most of the stories I see on TikTok where it's like the robotic text-to-speech with like Subway Surfer or like the girl doing her makeup in the background or slime, it's the most common one you're gonna see in this category. Or like something along the same name, like Goodreads. What were you talking about, like Reel Shorts? Where it's the video form of like the alpha acting 15 or 45 chapters. You're getting a real deal. So when you download the app, you can read a few chapters that you're linked to from the link on TikTok. But then after you get to it's always less than chapter 10, you get hit with a paywall. And it's not just paying like a monthly subscription. There's also coins. So you have to pay coins to read these chapters. And the coins are like $6.99 for 600 coins. So why do I need 47 types of currency to read a kiss? Smut, basically. So on GoodNovel, the prices is, well, weekly. There was a $14.99 subscription. I don't know who's paying $15 a week to read stories. And then for a year, this isn't even like a lifetime subscription. For 1 year, it's $199. So that is more than what other streaming services cost. So Netflix is $7.99 a month for the base value, so it's like with ads. But I just want to know who is paying the price of this. It's too much for too little reward. So the Alphaverse isn't the only trope we see on these TikTok videos. There's always the mafia boss, secretly a billionaire CEO. Like that's actually, I think that one's bigger than the Alphaverse. People love those stories where it's like just a random guy and the girl meets him, she falls in love with him, and he's a billionaire of the company she works at, and she's undressing in his office. That's what I would do for you. I would undress in your office. If he's not an alpha, a mafia boss, or secretly a billionaire, TikTok does not want him. You don't really see too many other stories where it's just like people who fell in love. Or like, where are our dating app stories? Back to our main topic, No Longer Yours, My Alpha, which is the book we're talking about. I did not pay for this. I found it online. I can't be faulted for that. It's just how it ended up. I wasn't gonna pay. I'm a college student. I wasn't gonna pay that much money to read a book because I'm probably not gonna read those other books. I mean, I'm stealing bad stories from the rich and giving them to me. I don't see the issue, but some will call it bad. Go ahead, do what you want. I don't mind. So, the baseline of this story is that there was this human girl living in it doesn't really give you too much background to start. It starts with the story of, oh well, look, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it for you guys. The first sentence, I dialed the elder counsel's number, forcing myself to keep my voice steady. I said, I'm willing to leave Kieran Wolf, but I have one condition. I want you to send me somewhere he'll never find me. And it jumps right into, which, get a hook, jump right into the story. I want to find, but yeah, unless you read the description, which you don't get on the TikTok stories, you don't really get background of why she's here, like who is this group. You just get, and speaking of which, Alphaverse, last name Wolf. They just added an E on that. It's okay. It's not like the animal. Totally different. So this girl moved to the mountains. They're in the northern mountains, and she basically worked as like, they called it like a herbal shop, like an herbal remedies, and she would collect herbs to help heal. It's like Warrior Cats. If you ever read Warrior Cats or any of the similar books in that genre, that's basically what she was. She was a medicine cat, but for werewolves. Okay. So basically, Miss George had saved the alpha wolf of this pack and gave him some herbs and like helped him get better over the days after he was attacked after saving her. So they do this long chase about how like he tries to get her, but she's like, "No, I'm only human. I can't be with you. How could you deal with my human pheromones when you're the alpha wolf?" And it continues on to where he wants to run away with her, but the Elder Council won't let her, or won't let them run away together. So they give him this ultimatum, and they're like, "Okay, if you want to run away with her, you have to give us an heir." Like these stories are really big on like keeping the alpha blood true. Basically, the whole preview before you have to pay is how this caused her to like have this horrible experience. Like she was in a toxic relationship with him because of this. The other girl's name was Cecilia. Cecilia is the Luna, the second wife, which Luna is basically just the wife of the alpha wolf. So they were like, we need you to have a pup. So Kieran, being the awesome guy he was, who wants to run away with his human wife, said, "Okay, I'll give you guys a pup. Let me sleep with that girl. I'll get her pregnant." So she gets pregnant. She has a beautiful baby girl pup named Tyra. And then the Elder Council was like, "No, no, no. You have to stay with your baby girl. What type of life is she going to live if she doesn't have a father at the start?" So he was like, "Okay, fine. Miss George, you have to wait a little longer before I can run away with you." And she was like, "Okay, you're the man that I love." So she stays. And then when he was ready to go after Tyra got a little older, they were like, "No, no, no. A girl cannot be an heir. We need a male. Get that bitch pregnant again. Hit the sack. You guys need to get back at it." He doesn't find me funny. He's actually reading the story right now. He's reading smut. He gets Cecilia pregnant again. And this is when the relationship kind of takes a toll. Kieran learned what it was like to be a father, which you always see online people talking about how after they have a kid, they change. They obviously they love this child. This child is a part of him. So he becomes more protective of this kid. Even just reading this on GoodNovel right now, I'm like getting confused. I don't know what's going on. So now we're at the point where the story starts. That was the background, which you learn later after you pay for the chapters. So in the main hall, Kieran had shifted into his massive wolf form and was gently letting his daughter, Tyra Wolf, tug at his thick fur. Cecilia was curled against his warm belly, smiling with tender satisfaction. The perfect family of three looked so blissfully happy together. The sight hit me like a bullet to the chest. "Oh, Miss George, you're back!" Cecilia did not even notice me first and immediately sat up with alert eyes. She instinctively pulled Tyra behind her protectively. Kieran almost reflexively shifted back to human form and handed Tyra to a servant to take upstairs. Their wary looks cut me like knives. The man who once said, "I'll only acknowledge pups that came from your belly," now watched me like I was a murderer. After Tyra was taken away, Kieran approached and reached out to check my frostbitten body. He asked, "You're back. Did you get hurt in the cold storage?" Okay, so they had a meet the pup party for Tyra, the little baby, and she was accidentally poisoned with wolfsbane, which apparently is like really toxic. It's like a poison to wolves. How generic wolfsbane poisons wolves. And Cecilia and the Elder Council accused, I forget the girl's first name, the human's first name, but for now we'll just say Miss George, of poisoning the baby pup. And she was like, what are you talking about? Why would I? Yeah, I deal with herbs, but why would I try to kill your baby? I'm trying to get out of here. I want to leave this hellhole. Um, so the elder kind was like, here's the phrase. You know what wolfsbane means to our kind. Why would you hurt my pup? And then they locked her in the storage room. And she decided she wasn't going to wait anymore. She decided to leave. That's back to where the story starts. So now that we got that preview out of the way, we can get back to the story. After Tyra was taken away, Kieran approached me and, yeah, frost-fritten body, we talked about that. As I looked at this man who once taken 99 lashes for me, my heart ached with bitterness as I turned away from his touch. He frowned slightly. Elise, her name's Elise. Given last night's situation, the more I defended you, the harsher the elder's punishment would have been. With your human body, they might have executed you. We're leaving soon anyway, and I don't want any more complications. Also, Tyra is innocent. Why would you? He gives Cecilia Elise's like family heirloom bracelet, and I was like, oh, you should like, it's you apologizing to her. You did this. So that bracelet your grandma gave you, it's not this lady's. And then another event they had where it was a complication was they were at the hospital after Cecilia almost had a miscarriage. And so Elise was there because she got shoved into the bookcase by Kieran, by the crazy abuse right off the back. He like shoves her into the bookcase, she bloodies her head, she passes out, and he takes Cecilia to the hospital because she's almost having a miscarriage, and leaves the original love of his life to die. So she has to wake up, put herself together, and take herself to the hospital. And once they get to the hospital, she's like, Kieran sees her, and he's like, oh, haven't you done enough? Why are you here? Are you just trying to torment Cecilia more? She's like, no, you almost killed me. And he's like, oh,
My baby girl, I did what? You know me, wolves don't know how to control their anger. I didn't almost kill you. No, give me a kiss. Come, come, love.
and she was like, no. And then she went back home, and she thought that they'd be okay and that they'd be able to leave soon. But Cecilia was like, Kieran, get married to me. Which it's not married in their little alpha verse. It's like the moonlight vow ceremony. And Elise is like, what the fuck, Kieran? That's supposed to be us. Us under there. Another thing that was noticed was Cecilia had like pinched her baby to give her bruises and accused Elise of it. So Elise got slashed, like whipped by the Elder Council because Cecilia did that to her own baby. So during the wedding ceremony, Elise leaves. She gets her plane ticket from the Elder Council and she packs her bags and she leaves. And Kieran was told during this that he could leave after they get married. She just wanted something, an event to show their kids. So after they're done, like he's like transforming into a wolf and running back to Elise, but she's gone. All of her stuff is gone. Where is his poor baby girl Elise that he threw into the bookcase and almost killed? God, how could she leave him? But she did. And after this little event, they find out that Cecilia isn't a full blood alpha. Cecilia was born out of wedlock to another clan's mistress. So she wasn't, their whole thing about having them have an heir from her was that they wanted a pure blood alpha, but they're not. So they call off the whole wedding and they kick Cecilia out. The Elder Council's devastated. This is the worst thing that could have happened to them. He might as well have married the human. So they were like, okay, now that we got that out of the way, yeah, you could bring Elise back. Yeah, it's okay. We we don't care that all that happened. We're already so bad. um, but Elise is already gone. She's like, no. She's already wherever he doesn't know. Her whole thing was to go somewhere that he can't find her because she's done with him. Sick of him. So Cecilia continues to try to get Kieran back because she wants his money. After they get married, she can have his money, but they never actually got married. It was a fake ceremony. But he's like, no, kick her out of here. And they actually gave, because she was trying to use Tyra against him, they actually gave Tyra to Cecilia's like half sister, like the actual heir to the other wolf family. It's really confusing and unorganized. Like some of it doesn't make sense. I was like, where did this girl come from? I don't know who she is. But apparently she couldn't have kids and they traded the baby for a piece of land. You switch POVs back to Elise's POV, and she's living at the orphanage she grew up in, working as a teacher. Very cute. And she was like, yeah, I came here because I never told Kieran about my backstory. But oh, and she was given $1 million by the clan. So she gives us $1 million to the old orphanage owner, and then they do some renovations, and then they go out. They try to find more sponsors. The next sponsor, the only sponsor, is the Wolf family. Kieran Wolf. Yeah. So the Wolf family is like, yeah, let us come investigate your orphanage to see if we want to actually sponsor you. And Elise is like, no, I don't want to welcome them. So she goes to town to get some supplies on that day. Kieran was there. He was walking around the orphanage with the orphanage owner, Margaret. This wasn't his place. And Margaret is like, look, boy, I know what you're looking for. She I've seen her. She doesn't want to see you. She hates your guts. And he was like, oh, okay. And they were meant to leave that night and go back to the mountains. But it was raining really bad. So they're like, okay, we'll just stay the night. The two do end up crossing paths. And Elise just says again, like, I don't ever want to see you again, which is fair. He abused her. Like, he almost killed her. He left her out in the frostbitten cold and rain and chose another girl over him, or over her. That was the end of that. But someone runs to Elise's door and was like, oh, there's about to be a landslide, and we can't find one of the kids. Apparently, this kid ran back to his grandma's house to look for some toys, and Elise goes to take him back. Landslide takes the whole house. But of course, just in the nick of time, Kieran in his wolf form came to save her. Oh, she's all good. He's not good. He ends up in the hospital. She's given a book by the Elder Council that Kieran wrote in, and it's basically like him talking about how much he loves her. And she gives him back the book and she's like, yeah, tell him that I never want to see him again. And that's the end of the story. I hated that ending. If you paid that much, I would sue if that was the ending to the story I paid for. It doesn't even like give you like a, okay, she's happily married to somebody else now. She has her own kids, and he's down in the dirt. Their tribe like died. Yep. You don't even get closure. It just gets the end. Bye. So I just want to know, why are these stories everywhere? So people nowadays have no attention span. So they see, Subway Surfers in the background and a story overlay, and they're like, two things at once. I like this. Short span, 50 parts. I like this. So I think that's why it's basically just easy money for the people making it. Like, even I get stuck on the Roblox stories. I love the Roblox stories, where you go to the page and you go swipe, swipe, swipe. Ooh, and it's like really stupid, like Chat GPT stories. They're really easy. Like, no. So these apps prey on fear of missing out and emotions. People tend to turn to smut stories because they don't have romance in their own life, or they're craving a type of romance that they're not getting. The stories aren't my only issue with these apps. It's how the people are paying so much to use the program, and the authors get like pennies. They don't get anything from the stories that they're writing. So these authors get pennies from these stories. So the app is basically milking readers and underpaying the people they're getting the content from. Like if you want to pay for these stories, go straight to the author. Don't go through third party because they're getting undercut and underpaid. And something to leave off for you if you're picking your stories, if the title has more than 7 words in at least one comma, don't read it. It's not going to be a good story. And you know what? If there is a good story with more than 7 words and one comma in the title, send it my way. I'll rate it. I'll let you know. Let me know if you guys have been exposed to these stories and fallen down the rabbit hole like I just did. And expose yourself. It's a safe place. I would like to know. And let me know if there's any other stuff on TikTok or like Instagram or any social media that you want me to look over. And I will. I also like true crime. I, I could tell you about any true crime story. I like those. So, here are my final thoughts on this. Some stories are entertaining, but the problem is the paywall manipulation and low quality control. Nobody is checking these stories to make sure that they're good to be paying for. And the authors, even if they aren't good stories, aren't getting paid for them. We deserve better romance. That's it. We deserve better romance stories, better smut. I wasted my time so you don't have to. Smash like so I can afford therapy. Cause I need it after this. Subscribe or I'll write my own werewolf story and make you pay $199 for it. And it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm good at writing. I swear.
Oh, 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 oh.
Morphs into werewolf. Bye, guys.